This little guy's pretty darn exciting. It's the Mobula7 HDZero version. That's right. I finally got my hands on some HDZero gear and I'm pretty excited about it. The best part isn't what you think. Yeah, it's got great video, excellent latency. It fits inside of Whoop. That's something DJI or Walksnail or Fatshark, whoever does it, can't do. But let me just show you, before I get into this review, the best part of HDZero. It's this. This is absolutely a chick magnet. I probably could have opted for a more subtle antenna design, but I really like the look of this, and it brings in the ladies. So if that's something you're interested in, stay tuned. We're going to learn a little bit more about HDZero and the Mobula7. So let's talk a little bit about this quad. I do like it. It's fun. It's a little heavy as a Whoop. So if you're flying indoors, just kind of know that. It takes some time to get used to the throttle. With a heavy Whoop, you kind of feel like it's falling out of the sky, and you really got to work the throttle and manage it a little bit more to kind of keep it stable. Once I kind of figured that out, I was able to fly this thing around my basement, no problem. Now we have some 1102 9000 KV brushless motors. They're happy model motors, and that makes sense because the Mobulas are happy model products. Now it has ELRS built into the flight controller, so that's really cool. This is the HDZero Whoop board. I think it's the version 2 board. It has to run on 2 or 3S, so you can't fly this on a single cell battery. Now they do have one that does. That's a different deal, and I've got one of those drones on the way as well. This is the RunCam Nano HDZero version. Pretty solid little camera. I was flying this drone on 3S and 2S batteries. I have some 3S 300 milliamp hour batteries, and I like the way that it performed on these. It was really light, but really darn powerful. A little bit too powerful for indoors, but because this thing is powerful, you can fly it outdoors, throw it in Acro, and do some flying that way. I like to fly on these 450 2Ss. I think a 300 2S really would be pretty nice because it'd be lighter, and I think it would maneuver a lot more like a Whoop that you're used to. But with one of these 450 2S batteries, I was getting about 5.5 minutes of flight time, and that's pretty darn good for a Whoop. Now, in order to fly HDZero, you need some sort of VRX that can handle that digital signal. And this is the new HDZero VRX, and I really like it. And yes, these antennas, they're a little bit excessive. I get it, but I wanted to, try what I think is probably the optimal setup. You get some antennas that are tall and up over your head and a couple of patches on the side pointing towards where you're going. Now I could just grab some stubbies, and that's what a lot of people do, and I have some stubbies, as you can see, hanging around that I'm just going to try. Now the VRX has to be connected via HDMI. I believe it's a mini HDMI to your goggles, and then you put the input there. It will record right here on the VRX, so that's one thing you can do. We've got a jog wheel up here on the top with a press to enter the menu. Now I recorded right here on the VRX, but I could have recorded on my goggles, I suppose, if I wanted. And yes, I can still fly analog with these goggles as well. I still have my receiver, which is on the side, always was over here on this goggle. This is about 200, I think maybe 225. I think right now there's a deal. So check the video description down below. I think I have a link to a coupon code for one of these VRXs. If you can get your hands on it, it is a nice product. Now I'll do a review of it separately, but right now this is just kind of Mobula7 time. I also am building a full-size or a 5-inch quad with HDZero, and I've got the Mobula6 with HDZero on the way, so I'm excited for that one, that 1S, super light, super fun. Now, aside from the chick magnet that you wear on your face, the video is fantastic. And when you're kind of thinking about, do I go HDZero, do I go DJI, do I go Fatshark Walksnail, that's hard to decide. But DJI and Walksnail / Fatshark, they're not going to be making HD video for whoops. So if whooping is your thing, if you like small drones like this, HDZero is really your only real viable option. Sure, there are some bigger, heavier whoops, and I thought this kind of flew a little heavy. I've flown those. I have some of them. they're definitely a lot heavier and bigger. Even with something like a naked Caddx Vista or a naked Walksnail, whatever, it's going to be heavier and bigger than a board like this. And already HDZero has been making smaller, lighter boards, so that bodes well for the future. So if whooping or indoor flying is the way to go for you, then you probably want to consider HDZero. HDZero is also better in terms of latency. There's less lag, which means if you're into racing, HDZero is the best HD video system for that as well. So while the picture is probably not quite on par with DJI, it's still leaps and bounds better than analog. All right, so let's take a look at the HD video coming out of this HDZero system, and it is absolutely hands down better than any analog system out there. Now, especially when you compare it to whoops, and we'll do that here in a little bit. I'm going to compare it to my Mobula7, the LRS, the one that I really like, the analog version, the newest one, and you can kind of, see, I'll be flying around my basement, and you can kind of compare, but yeah, HDZero is just absolutely better. Is it going to make you a better pilot? Maybe, actually. It is important to be able to see. If you can see better, maybe you can fly better. No, it's not going to increase your skill level, but it is helpful to kind of be able to maneuver. You're not going to be flying through trees with analog. You just couldn't do that. You can maneuver a little bit better with an HD system. And this is really your only HD system if you like flying small things. We're just kind of flying around my basement here. I'll take it outside in a little bit. Let's take a look at the fish tank here, see if Dwight Schrute is out. There he is, right? You'd never be able to see or spot Dwight Schrute with an analog. That's my kid's axolotl, by the way, Dwight Schrute. And yeah, it's just a really nice system. Here we're kind of transitioning into different rooms. We'll go into a dark room and then back into the bright room. You can see how it transitions. It does pretty darn well. So yeah, HDZero. So far, so good. I'm going to do some more testing with this. I'm going to do some testing with my Mob 6 that has this. And, of course, I'm going to build one with HDZero, so we'll try that. Now, for those of you saying that analog is just as good, well, let's take a look at some analog flying around my basement. This is, like I said, my other Mobula7, the 1S version. I really like this drone. Lots of fun to fly. It's about $100 compared to the $200 you're going to pay for the HDZero version. It's lighter, it's more nimble, it's faster. I'm just flying around the basement here with my son, but yeah, it's good, but gosh, it's not going to compare with the video quality that you get with the HDZero. Now I'm going to take it outside here in a second, and I think it's actually even better when you're flying outdoors. Now this is actually on a 3S battery. My other indoor flight was on a 2S battery. You get a little more oomph. This is actually a lighter battery because it's 300 milliamp hours. Actually, I don't know if it's actually lighter. It just feels lighter because I have more power. I guess I'll have to measure that. But yeah, this thing, it can rip. You can fly Acro with this thing for sure. It doesn't have the super powerful range. Like I said, we've got a 200 milliwatt VTX. You're going to outrun that before you're going to outrun the ELRS. But again, it's a whoop. It's not really made to fly forever. So yeah, I'll let you just kind of enjoy a little bit more of this HD video, and you can kind of decide, is this the HD system for you? That is absolutely your call. But I really like it, and I'm going to be doing some more content with this HDZero. If you're looking for other good HDZero content, check out Ryan Quillette. He does awesome stuff. He's super knowledgeable, and I'll put a link down below to his channel as well. Enjoy. So yeah, there will be some more HDZero coming out on this channel. I'm pretty excited about it. Like I said, I'm building a quad with it. I've got another small whoop on the way, and I love flying whoops. So HDZero is probably the HD system that I'm going to kind of fully adopt. Now, I already have some DJI stuff. Now, I don't know that I'm going to get into the Walksnail Fatshark deal just because why? Like, it's actually kind of upsetting to me that that exists. Listen, I'm all about options, but that DJI Walksnail Fatshark thing, like, they're not going to be compatible, so it's a whole lot of money that people have already invested, and now they've kind of forked it, and you're going to have to invest a ton of money. If you haven't started investing in any of these systems, then you kind of choose which one is best for you. But I already have DJI, and I now have HDZero. 2's probably good enough for me. Plus, I have a bunch of analog stuff as well. Anyway, so hit that subscribe button if you want to see more HDZero content coming your way, because I've got some stuff in the works, like I said. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. Good luck, everyone, and happy flying.